So as we're rolling on, into this series, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints for 2025. And I really want to ask the New Orleans Saints fans, what was your expectations going into this 2025 season? Like, again, you're in a really shit division in the NFC South, which again, it's a dumpster fire of a division. What was your true expectations going into 2025? I would love to hear that from a Saints point of view, a Saints fan point of view, because I look at this team, and again, yes, you have Chris Olave, who you got a number of years ago, who I think is a good addition on offense, but and I know you have Alvin Kamara, but there's not much going on, and it feels like you've been going through this for the last you've been doing this for a while, even with Drew Brees and later Sean Payton, like you've been doing that, just been, no pun intended, you've been breezing by, you've just been there, you've had a couple of playoff appearances, but again, Drew Brees retired, Drew Brees goes into Pro Football Hall of Fame this year, and then Sean Payton leaves in 2021, and you're like the Dennis Allen experience, which didn't do shit. Then you're bringing in Keelan Moore from the Eagles, who again is on the offensive side of the ball. So the sign is that they, you've got a GM in Mickey Loomis as well that has been on the hot seat for way too long, and I don't know why he still had the job. That's just my opinion. Mickey Loomis should have been fired years ago, but apparently he's still there. Also, how are you truly going to do a true rebuild when the guy that's assembling this team consistently fucks up this team? So, the signings that you made in the offseason, you signed Justin Reed, safety from the Chiefs, and then Will Clapp at corner, tight end Jack Stahl, Chris Mumph from the Chargers, Donovan People-Jones, wide receiver from the Lions. So again, you did some decent additions, like Julian Black comes in at safety, Jonathan Bullard at defensive end, Jaden Price, a cornerback. You've done some okay additions. I mean, these guys are not going to pull trees and do amazing things, but again, it's a decent signing, I guess, you've done. And then you're looking at, you traded away a couple of, you made a couple of trades during the off season. You traded Devon Gorch from the Patriots for 7th round pick. Corner Luke Forte to Jacksonville, and then Khalil Anderson went the other way, and Devontae Vale went to the Broncos for a 4th round pick for 2026 and 7th round pick for 2027. And then you look at the draft approach. Now, they definitely needed to address quarterback, and that was absolutely a position they needed. And yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. But first overall, they drafted Calvin Banks Jr. And you're looking at that and thinking, okay, you're addressing your pass protection. You're addressing your offensive line, which has needed to be addressed for a while now. And getting Calvin Banks Jr. in, I thought, was again not a bad addition. Offensive tackle from Texas. 2nd round, you go for Tyler Shough from Louisville, and I'm like, Tyler Shough, we're putting our eggs in the Tyler Shough basket. Who again at the time of when he was drafted, he was 25, going on to 26. Now, get this into context here. Tyler Shough on tape was not very good. His arm talent wasn't the best. His in the pocket awareness wasn't the best. His leadership skills, I don't think, weren't that good either. And also, he had a ton of injuries. And he was the backup behind Justin Herbert in 2017-2018. And you're putting your eggs in Tyler Shough's basket. Spencer Rattler was, again, whatever. Tyler Shough, though, injury-prone quarterback who was 26 in college, who was a backup behind Justin Herbert 7-8 years ago. But that's our guy, Tyler Shough, guys. We're going to pass on Shedeur, pass on Jackson Dark, who, again, yeah, they may have their flaws, but again, compared to Tyler Shough, it's night and day. Anyway, so the Tyler Shough experience, we'll talk about it in a minute. Then Vernon Vernon Broughton, defensive tackle from Texas. Jones Sacker, safety from Virginia, which again you're beefing up your defense, which again not a bad situation. Danny Stoltman, linebacker from Oklahoma. Quincy Riley, cornerback from Louisville. You traded away a 5th round pick to the Commanders. Devin Nielsen, running back, that was a good addition. Like I thought that was probably the best out of all these like draft picks you did in 2025. I think Devin Nielsen was probably one of the best they got here at running back from Kansas. They traded away a pick to the Eagles because obviously they've got Gilmore now. Mavante, tight end from UCLA, and Faden Diggs, defensive end from Syracuse. And then you really look at like their offense, like I've talked about at the beginning of this video. Chris Olave, Dante Pats, Samori Torre, Kevin Austin Jr., Alvin Kamara, Evan Hull, Ronnie Bell, Juwan Johnson. I mean, these are not like elite level players, but like maybe again Chris Olave is really good. Alvin Kamara's had his day, but I think you could probably move him on. Points, I mean, they have the 28th best offense in the league, 28th out of 32. Their offense really stunk in 2025, even with Chris Olave and then Alvin Kamara in the team. So again, if you get rid of these guys, are you going to be any better? Who knows? But again, they had the 28th best offense in the league, they had the 16th best defense in the league, which again, it's just one of those. It's just an absolute dumpster fire. You look at Tyler Shough, as Tyler Shough's really season. He had over 2,384 passing yards. Chris Olave had over 1,000 receiving yards. So again, not bad numbers. Again, you could do better, but to gain over 2,000 yards for Tyler Shough, not bad. Not a bad, in my opinion. Schedule wise, you started off 0-4. Beginning of the season, you get your first win against, you get your first win on the road to the Chargers. Then you go 2-8. You get your first win. You get your first win against New York, and then you're 1-5, and then you go to the Bears 1-6, and then you're winning meaningless games against like the Panthers and the Buccaneers and the Titans, and it didn't really matter. You finished the regular season 6-11. Like, was it really worth it to win those 6 games? Again, I think the aim of the game for this season was, well, for 2025 is to tank for 2026 and see if you can maybe maybe look at another quarterback. I know the quarterback pool isn't the best. Ty Simpson and Mendoza. I know Dante Moore's going to be in the draft. He's not going to be in the draft anymore. But yeah, I think aim of the game was like, we're going to go on a tank, and then you're winning 6 meaningless games, which also fucks up your draft pick anyway. And now in the 2026 draft, you have a 1st round pick, but you're 8th. Now again, if you didn't win those 6 meaningless games and did what the Raiders did or what the Jets did and tanked and go all in, you would have got yourself like a top 5 pick. But here you are in the 1st round. Typical fucking Saints don't know what the fuck they're doing here. They got a 8th round pick, 1st round, 8th overall. Then they have a 2nd round pick, they have a 3rd round pick, and then they could have a 4th and a 5th round pick and a 6th and 7th round pick. Cap space for this team, they don't have a lot. They don't have any cap space really. They're over 41 million in cap space, so they've got to be smart with what they get in this off season. Releasing some people, maybe like Alvin Kamara or something like that. But they need to address the offensive line again. Offensive line needs to be addressed. I think tight end, wide receiver, secondary, a kicker, a quarterback. They need a miracle, but ultimately they need to rip out the entire organization, get rid of Mickey Loomis, which they're not going to do that now anyway, but go for a big overhaul. But if I'm looking at 2026, it's going to be more of the same. You're going to be butt last in your division, win about five or six games, and then, you know, you may get like a top 10 first round pick for 2027. Not very much to talk about here though, guys.